The cold in Moscow is more than just a temperature, it seeps into your bones and soul. I was Elena, wrapped in wool and solitude, overlooking gray buildings that mirrored my heart. Life was a routine, a silent symphony of muted colors and hushed conversations. I felt like a seed, buried under snow, waiting for a spring that might never come. My spirit was in hibernation, longing for connection and warmth. I sat in cafes, nursing tea, watching people, wondering if they felt the same chill. The city was a fortress, and I was a lonely princess trapped in its tower. Conversations with friends felt like performances, rarely touching on the heart. I yearned for a place where emotions weren't liabilities. The idea of escape began as a whisper, a rebellious thought. I saw images of the Philippines, a place drenched in warmth and light. It was a reckless idea, but it made my heart beat faster. It was a flicker of hope in the long winter of my soul. The Philippines sounded like a song, a melody of warmth and light. It was a world away from the gray skies and reserved souls of my home. It was the first thing that had made my heart beat faster in a long time. It was a flicker of hope in the long, cold winter of my soul. One afternoon, the Moscow chill felt particularly biting. In a crowded market, I reached for a box of mangoes, meeting the hand of a young Filipino boy. His eyes were wide, fixed on the golden fruit, a luxury they couldn't afford. His disappointment mirrored my own unspoken longings. Without thinking, I bought 2 boxes, offering one to the boy. His eyes widened in disbelief, and his mother looked surprised. I smiled, pointing to the boy and the mangoes. The boy's face broke into a radiant smile, saying, "Salamat." His mother placed a hand over her heart, eyes shining with gratitude. In that moment, the market faded away, leaving only a perfect connection. It was a warmth that had nothing to do with a heater. It was the warmth of a human heart, the most powerful thing I'd ever felt. This small act of giving and receiving was a crack in the ice, a tiny fissure through which a sliver of light could finally enter. It was a clumsy, wordless exchange, but more meaningful than any conversation I'd had in months. The boy took the box, his small fingers brushing against mine. His smile felt like the sun bursting through clouds. It was a warmth that had nothing to do with a heater. Salamat echoed in my mind, guiding me to the Philippines. I booked a flight, knowing it was more than a vacation, it was a pilgrimage. Manila was a vibrant tapestry, chaotic and alive, unlike Moscow's order. The air was thick, humid, and alive, overwhelming yet fascinating. I checked into a guest house, greeted by Maria's genuine warmth. Her hospitality was an unconditional embrace, unlike the formality I knew. That evening, I sat on the balcony, feeling the warmth of Maria's kindness. The city sounds were a symphony, and I didn't feel the familiar sting of loneliness. The warmth I felt created a protective bubble around me. Here, you couldn't be invisible even if you tried. Someone would always see you. Someone would always smile. For the first time, I felt the snow inside me beginning to melt. The warmth I had felt from Maria, from the juice she gave me, from her simple questions, had created a protective bubble around me. It was a stark contrast to the anonymous existence I led in Moscow. Here it seemed you could not be invisible, even if you tried. Someone would always see you. Someone would always smile. And for the first time, I felt the snow inside me beginning to melt. I chose to ride a jeepney, the king of Filipino roads. The jeepney was packed, a vibrant mosaic of people. In Moscow, we avoided eye contact. Here, it was impossible. We were a community, hurtling through the city together. The fare system was a beautiful chaos, a collective effort. A construction worker named Rico helped me with my fare. He asked if it was my first time, and I nodded, feeling warmth. Rico pointed out landmarks, warned me to keep my bag close. He was my guardian, my impromptu tour guide. When it was time to get off, Rico ensured I was at the right stop. "Take care," he said, his smile genuine. This man, a stranger, showed me more warmth than many I knew. He simply saw a person in need and offered help freely. It was a lesson in humanity, delivered on a crowded bus. The heart of the Filipino people was in small, everyday acts of grace. Rico's kindness was a gentle, paternal care I hadn't realized I missed. It was a lesson in humanity, delivered on a crowded, colorful bus. My journey led me to Siargao, an island of surfing waves and serenity. The island was breathtaking, but the people captured my heart. A flat tire on a remote road left me panicked. A fisherman appeared, offering help without hesitation. He patched my tire, refusing my offers to help or pay. Instead, he invited me to his home for dinner. His family welcomed me with warmth and laughter. We shared a meal, stories, and laughter, despite language barriers. They had little by Western standards but offered everything they had. Generosity wasn't about how much you have, but how much you give. The fisherman's reward was the act of helping itself. His family shared their food, home, and time without a second thought. That night, I understood true generosity. It was measured in family, community, and shared moments. The fisherman's family had a richness money couldn't buy. They had each other, their connection to the sea and sky. They found joy in appreciating what they had. I realized my pursuit of success in Moscow seemed empty. In Palawan, I stayed in a nipa hut with Ben, a boatman. Ben had a pure heart, seeing the world in simple terms. He took me to secret places, teaching me about nature. He respected the ocean as a living being. Ben was a philosopher without a book, a teacher without a classroom. A storm rolled in, but Ben's family remained calm. They lit a candle, filling the room with warmth. Ben's wife sang a lullaby, and Ben carved a bird from driftwood. It was a peaceful, beautiful moment. I learned about a different kind of wealth. It wasn't measured in money, but in family and community. Ben's family had a richness that no money could buy. They had each other, their connection to nature. They found joy in appreciating what they had. I looked at my life in Moscow, realizing its emptiness. I had a full bank account, but my heart felt vacant. Ben's family taught me about true wealth and happiness. They had hearts full of gratitude and contentment. The Philippines washed over me like a healing tide. Each interaction, each smile, eroded the walls around my heart. I came as a tourist, but the people pulled me into their lives. They shared their food, homes, and stories with openness. I began to see the world through their eyes, shifting my perspective. I realized my life in Russia was governed by fear. Fear created distance, preventing true connection. In the Philippines, I saw a culture of faith and humanity. People trusted and helped each other, assuming the best. This wasn't naivety. It was a conscious choice. The warmth and generosity healed something deep inside me. I felt connected to the world, smiling at strangers. The tight knot of anxiety in my chest began to loosen. I was learning to be open, vulnerable, and trust in kindness. The Filipino people taught me how to be human again. The men I met shared a common thread of quiet strength. Their masculinity was about service and care, not dominance. They were living proof that strength lies in gentleness. Leaving the Philippines, my heart ached. I was taking a piece of the Philippines with me. I was not the same woman who left Moscow. The ice around my heart was replaced by a steady flame. In Moscow, the familiar chill greeted me. I feared the flame inside me would be extinguished. But I remembered the kindness and strength I encountered. The change was small, quiet, and internal. I smiled at strangers, started conversations, and hosted dinners. I tried to bring the spirit of the Nipa hut into my life. My attempts at connection were sometimes met with suspicion, but I persisted, carrying the Filipino spirit with me. Kindness was a choice, creating ripples of change. I was no longer a seed buried under snow. I was a sprout, pushing towards the light. I was bringing warmth to the Russian winter, one act of kindness at a time. The journey had ended, but the transformation was just beginning. I was determined to keep the flame alive. My journey taught me the world isn't as divided as it seems. Beneath different cultures, there is a shared human heart. Kindness is the universal language, needing no translation. It bridges divides, connecting strangers. The Philippines gave me back my faith in humanity. It showed me the capacity for warmth and goodness. The people I met lived with grace and generosity. They valued connection, community, and kindness. I often think of the boy in the Moscow market. His salamat was the first note in a life-changing symphony. It led me to a culture that healed me. The purest hearts remain open despite hardships. The Filipino men embodied this strength and gentleness. Now, when the Moscow chill seeps in, I remember the warmth. I choose to carry the flame within me. I can be the reason a stranger smiles. Kindness is an action, the most beautiful and powerful in the world. My travels taught me that kindness is not just a feeling, it is an action.